Meet Bob and Sue. Two new people welcome to this world and not much different than you or I, but they've got a lot of learning to do before they're fully functional adults. I mean, they live in similar houses, they have families, they have parents, and those parents have dreams and aspirations for their kids. Like Bob's father, who's thinking of things like, football, weights, fast cars, and boxing, sports stuff, for his man. What could he be? And Sue's mom, she's thinking of things like beautiful things like dresses and flowers and love and makeup tips. The things she'll do with her daughter. She can't wait. The possibilities are endless. Or are they? You see, as the children are raised, they are imbued with social do's and don'ts, the norms of society, and how they should feel about certain things. Well, let's take a look at Bob. How's he growing up? Well, Bob grows up around, rockets and sports, and cars, trucks, and balls, and he grows up, you know, wrestling with his father and, learning that guys are meant to be tough. But one day, at the store, Bob sees something that interests him. It's not normal, but it's really caught his attention. It's a Ken doll fashion set. He begs his father to look, and when his father sees it, to his amazing new discovery, he's met with dismay. That toy's not for boys. That toy's for little girls. Here, try this gun instead. It's more manly. The situation left Bob confused and a little sad. He couldn't understand. Why did I have to have the gun? And what makes the other toy a girl's toy? These things he just couldn't answer at the time. So, like most kids, he let it go and learned from that situation. Guns are manly, dolls are girly. But what about Sue? How's she being raised? Are things different? Of course they are. She's being raised with kitties and rainbows, flowers and the color pink, unicorns and dolls. She's got baking sets. But one day, something caught her eye. Now, she wasn't used to this, but it transfixed her. She was on it. It was violence in a movie. Now, quickly, her mom changed the channel and reprimanded her for looking at it, but that didn't stop her interest. But the do's and don'ts, do they affect us negatively? I mean, the kids grew up fine. T-ball, army guy, tea parties as a princess, but all the beautiful things like flowers and rainbows and fairies, boys can't have them. And football and guns and weights, that's frowned upon for girls. But should it be? No. That would only hinder them. But how did the kids manage as they grew up? Well, Bob studied hard for school, but took an interest in extreme sports. He really enjoyed them. And Sue got a scholarship through dance and ballet. She was really excited. But now they're off to college. And who would have thought? Our two kiddos run into each other. And you know what? They were okay with that. They sat and they talked about things they liked and things they didn't like, how they got there and who they were. But then they started talking about things that they wished they had done. Now, going through the conversations, they realized that maybe they should have done them. And just then, Sue got the idea. Let's do them, and let's help each other. So, they decided and they agreed. They were going to help each other do the things that they were afraid of doing because they were told were wrong. And so they did. Bob taught Sue how to skateboard, skydive, get cuts and scrapes, and not worry about it. Sue taught Bob how to look at clothing in a different light, colors, and what matched and what worked. As the years passed, they both surrendered to their passions and became what they wanted to be. Bob became a clothing designer, and he was great at it. And Sue, she started working on costuming and special effects for a film studio, making zombie masks, things like that. But time passed and the couple grew closer and fell in love and got married and eventually got pregnant. And they sat back and they thought of the things that they would like for their child. But then they figured it out. They wanted everything for their child, the entire world, and no limitations. Now get out there and do what you want to do, because you want to do it, regardless of what someone told you it should be.